Hi everyone, let's talk about AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash. I thought this was a fun show. I loved it. I really did. I love this show. Let's talk about it, guys. So we hear from MGF, and MGF says where Swerve Strickland might be the franchise, and Samoa Joe is the Samoan submission machine, and Hangman Adam Page is the main character as the big three. He's still the new AEW World Champion, and he throws down the title, then it fills a second custom one made just for him, and he says a lot of the fans around the world are upset with him and think he's not fair. He's outclassed and out wins all the fans' favorites, and then continues gloats, and he says he's better than everyone. He knows it. Then Kenny Omega appears on the jumbo screen and apologized for interrupting in MJF, but MJF made him feel a constrained way, and he says he hates the feeling that he's closer to the end of his career than the beginning, and then he says he's been asking himself what if he becomes AEW World Champion again, and he says he's not collecting belts like he used to, but he's collecting one in the AEW World Championship, whether he's challenged next week or has to claw to front of the line. And MJF says Omega wasn't the man enough to say any of what just said to his face, but Hangman Adam Page music hits and he appears in the crowd with a chain around his neck, and Swerve Strickland music then hits and he appears in another section of the crowd with a chain on his neck, and Prince Nana and Swerve Strickland and Hangman and Page and Prince Nana all made their way to the ring, but security hold them back as MJF says he's a professional wrestler, and he says he believes wins and losses matter. Then he says, I'll say it again, guys. Then says Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland are both losers, which they are not both losers. They aren't, in my opinion. And he says if Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland earn themselves matches with wins, he'll let them have a title shot. And Hangman and Swerve then take out security guards in the ring after MJF leave and attacked two of the security guards. Hangman and Swerve use one of the chains to level one of the guards and delivers a bloodshot Larry and a house call to the guards and puts MJF on notice. Then Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook appear on the jumbo screen, and Samoa Joe makes it clear he wants a rematch of his own for the AEW World Championship, then challenge Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland to a tag team match on behalf of Hook and Powerhouse Hobbs, which we've seen that happened this week, guys. And it was a match, in a lights out match. I'll talk about that after this, guys, and stuff. So yes, guys, that might be in a while. I'll talk about that one, guys, which was a great show from Dynamite this past week with that lights out, no disqualification match. That was fun. That was really fun. But we'll talk about that, guys, later. So yes, guys, Hangman and Swerve agree with Swerve Strickland upping the challenge with a no disqualification lights out match. Then Tony Storms and Roger Strong and OC then make their way to the ring, and Maria Shafir and Daniel Garcia and Claudio of the Death Riders follow, and then we had a tornado trios match with Tony Storms and Roderick Strong, and OC fences Maria Shafir and Daniel Garcia and Claudio Castagnoli in a New Year's Evil tornado trios match, which was a fun match, guys. A lot of people didn't like this match, but I thought it was a fun match. Let's talk about it. The bell rings and everyone begins brawling with one another, and Storms connects with a Trish press on Maria Shafir and lands a shotgun dropkick on her, but Claudio Castagnoli dumps Tony Storms out of the ring, and Roger Strong sniffs up behind Claudio and fires up chomps on him, and then rains down right hands on him. Then OC rains down right hands on Daniel Garcia into the corner and rolls up Maria Shafir, and Daniel Garcia, Maria Shafir, and Claudio Castagnoli take turns firing off clotheslines and uppercuts on OC in the corner, and Daniel Garcia and Maria Shafir then level Orange Cassidy with a double boot and back in the break, and Claudio Castagnoli and Maria Shafir and Daniel Garcia fire up chomps on Roger Strong in the corner, and Roger Strong lands a chomp on Daniel Garcia, but Claudio Castagnoli holds him in place for Maria Shafir to fire up chomps on him, and Roger Strong escapes and lands a back suplex on Claudio Castagnoli. Then Orange Cassidy and Tony Storms dance in the ring with one other and taking out Maria Shafir and Daniel Garcia in the process, and they deliver a double hip toss to Claudio Castagnoli, and OC runs over and Claudio Castagnoli with a boot to his face. Then Daniel Garcia runs over Tony Storms with a boot to her face, but OC takes him out with a orange punch, and Maria Shafir sits up behind, and Orange Cassidy puts Orange Cassidy, but Roderick Strong delivers a backbreaker to Maria Shafir. Then Orange Cassidy lands a Sundog Billionaire on Claudio, and Tony Storms levels it up with a hip attack, and Orange Cassidy responds with a tornado DDT on Claudio, but Wheeler Yuta snaps up behind and Orange Cassidy on the ring apron and takes him out, and Claudio then takes advantage and delivers a pop-up uppercut to Claudio Castagnoli. I'll say it again. I'll repeat it again, guys. Claudio Castagnoli takes his advantage and delivers a pop-up uppercut to OC for the win, and that's how they won, and that's how the Death Riders picked up the win, with Claudio Castagnoli doing the pop-up uppercut on Orange Cassidy for the win, and that's how they won, and that's how Maria Shafir and Daniel Garcia and Claudio Castagnoli and the Death Riders defeated the Conjuration, guys. That was a fun match, I'm telling you. Then after the match, Roderick Strong ascends his hand to Orange Cassidy and helps him up. Then Bandito then makes his way to the ring, and the Beast Mortals and Sammy Guevara follows, and we had this match with Bandito and the Beast Mortals, and this was a little fun match. I love the guys with the Beast Mortals and Bandito. Give it up to Beast Mortals too. I don't care what anybody says about Beast Mortals. Give it up to Beast Mortals and Bandito. Give it up to both of those guys. Give it up to both of those guys. I'm telling you, Bandito. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, guys, let's talk about it. The bell rings and the two lock up, and Bandito grabs his grip and shakes it as the Beast Mortals gets him in charge at him twice, but pulls it away at the last second as a mean of getting Beast Mortals to offend, missing him, and Beast Mortals finally grabs the escape from Bandito and lands a Tororo on him through the middle rope to level him onto the outside, and then back from the break. The Beast Mortals lands a pop-up fall-away slam on Bandito. Then he turns Bandito inside out with a lariat, but Bandito responds with a 21-plex to the Beast Mortals for the win, and Bandito defeated Beast Mortals, and that's what happened, guys. Then Brody King then makes his way to the ring, and Lee Johnson is already waiting inside, and we had Brody King fences Lee Johnson. This was a little fun match right here, too, guys. This was a little fun match. Let's talk about it, but it could have been longer, but fun. The bell rings, and Lee Johnson flips over the top rope and lands Brody King onto the outside and takes the fight to him, and he rains down right hands and left hands on him, but Brody King sends him crashing into the barricade and dumps him into the ring, and the bell sound, and Brody King charges at Lee Johnson, and Lee Johnson sees Brody King coming, but Brody King turns him inside out with a clothesline and follows it up with a cannonball. Then he sends Lee Johnson crashing into the mat face first with a Falcon Arrow for the win, and that's how Brody King defeated Lee Johnson, guys. And give it up to Lee Johnson, too, guys. Give it up to Lee Johnson. I love that dude in Ring of Honor. And Brody King, man. Give it up to Brody King, too, man. Then we had Josh Alexander to make his way to the ring, and Jon Moxley follows, and we have Jon Moxley fences Josh Alexander in an eliminator match for the Continental Championship eliminator match. I love this match. A lot of people complain about this eliminator stuff. I'm okay with the eliminator stuff. But anyways, guys, let's talk about it. The bell rings, and Josh Alexander blindsides Moxley as he gets in the ring, and he fires off right hands on him, then continues wearing him down and fires up more right hands of his own. And Moxley and Josh Alexander then exchange chops with one another, but Josh Alexander launches an ankle lock, and Moxley escapes and then sends Josh Alexander crashing into the corner, and lands a clothesline on him, and Josh Alexander sends Jon Moxley crashing out of the ring, and Jon Moxley grabs into his injured ankle, and Josh Alexander continues charging it by kicking it, and then sends Jon Moxley crashing into the ring apron face first, and then back from the break, Moxley fires up with a series of chomps on Josh Alexander's chest onto the ring apron, then Josh Alexander and Moxley in change right hand, boom, 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 bang, 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 bang. Good stuff. Then, but Jon Moxley then in changes right hands with one another, but Josh Alexander lands a scoop on Moxley on the ring apron and ascends to the top rope and looks to deliver a moonsault to Jon Moxley, but Jon Moxley rolls out of the way and then change right hands with Josh Alexander once again, and then Moxley sets up for a cutter on Josh Alexander, but Josh Alexander offenses it, and Moxley then manages to let a second cutter on him and goes for a pin, but Josh Alexander kicks out, and Moxley launches a bulldog choke on Josh Alexander, but Josh Alexander escapes, and Moxley catches him with a back suplex, and Josh Alexander sends Moxley crashing into the corner with a shotgun dropkick, but Moxley sends Josh Alexander crashing out of the ring and delivers a top suicide to him. Then Josh Alexander uses the ring post to launch a figure four leg lock on Moxley, but Moxley launches a bulldog choke on Josh Alexander, and Josh Alexander escapes, but Moxley rains down and hammers an elbow on him and locks the bulldog choke back on him, but Josh Alexander fades and Moxley wins by submission, and that's what happened right there, guys. And then after the match, Shelton Benjamin and after the match, Shelton Benjamin and MVP appear on the entrance ramp and stare Moxley down. Then we had the Jurassic Express make their way to the ring, and the man followed. This was a good match. Ricochet fences Jack Perry. I can't stand both of them, but where credit's due, I give them. Let's give credit to Ricochet and Jack Perry. Good stuff, man. Good stuff for Jack Perry and Ricochet. Let's talk about it anyways. So the bell rings and the two lock up, and Ricochet dumps Jack Perry out of the ring as Luchadors stares down Taloa, and Bishop Khan stands right behind Taloa, and Jack Perry gets back in the ring and pins Ricochet, but Ricochet kicks out, and Jack Perry levels him with a shoulder tackle, and he sends Ricochet crashing out of the ring with a kick and connects with a dive on him that sends him crashing into the barricade, then dumps him right back in the ring. Then Bishop Khan grabs into Jack Perry's ankle and gets him back inside, but Luchadors grabs him by the throat, and Talalaya attacks Luchadors from behind and sends him crashing into the ring post, and Ricochet flips out of the ring with a top suicide, then levels him onto the outside and back from the barricade, and Jack Perry lands a German suplex on Ricochet, then Ricochet responds with a Bruce suplex to Jack Perry, but Jack Perry rolls up Ricochet, and Ricochet kicks out before Jack Perry dumps him out of the ring and looks to fly, and Ricochet looks Jack Perry flying and looks to send him crashing into the floor face first, but Jack Perry counters into a move of his own and dives Ricochet to the floor, and then Jack Perry ascends to the top rope when the peer returns to the ring, but Bishop Khan looks to strap him, and Jack Perry fires. Also again, Jack Perry fights him off and lands a flying DDT. Also again, a flying tornado DDT on Ricochet, but turns around into a spirit gun while getting in Bishop Khan's face from inside the ring, and Ricochet then pins Jack Perry for the win, and Ricochet retains the AEW National Championship, guys. Then after the match, Talalaya takes out Luchadors on top of the entrance rep, and Ricochet runs over Jack Perry with a spirit gun in the ring as Talalaya lands a barricade on Luchador's arm, and Bishop Khan hits Luchador's arm with a chair, and the security appear, but Ricochet takes one of them out with a spirit gun, and Talalaya sends another crashing into the barricade with a belly slam. Then that's what happened right there, guys. And then we head backstage where MJF speaks with Renee Paquette, and Bandito and Brody King confront MJF ahead of Bandito's AEW World Championship match against MJF on Dynamite Maximum Carnage special. We're going to get that this Wednesday. I can't wait for this Wednesday special with a Maximum Carnage. Can't wait for it, guys. Then we have this match. This was the main event. Willow Nightingale fences Mercedes Moné, and Mercedes Moné lost the TBS title to Willow Nightingale. Full circle storytelling. Full circle, baby. Full circle. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm telling you. Good stuff. Let's talk about it, guys. So the bell rings, and Mercedes Moné beats down Willow Nightingale onto the outside, and she sends her bouncing off then the ring apron face first, and then sends her crashing into first of the barricades and shoulder first, and looks to land a Marora on her, and Willow Nightingale moves out of the way and sends Mercedes crashing into the cinch barricade with a shorter bounce, and then Willow dumps Mercedes back in the ring, and then lands a missile dropkick on Mercedes off the middle rope, and then follows it up with a cannonball to her in the corner and she goes for a pin, but Mercedes kicks out and Willow levels her with a cannonball off the ring apron. The Mercedes then sends Willow crashing into the ring steps and runs her over with a Mariah. Then back from the break, Willow sends Mercedes crashing into the mat, into the mat, spine first, and runs over her with a trio of clotheslines, and then she fires off a clothesline on her into the corner, but Willow runs over Mercedes with a shoulder bounce and follows it up with a Death Valley driver, and she goes for a pin, but Mercedes kicks out. Then Mercedes delivers a back stabber to Willow, but Willow sets up for a moonsault on Willow sets up for the moonsault on Mercedes off the ropes, and then Mercedes moves out of the way and looks to let a frog splash on Willow off the top rope, but Willow gets her knees up, and then Willow looks to land a cannonball on Mercedes off the ring apron, but Mercedes ducks out of the way and delivers the Three Amigos to Willow onto the outside, and Willow Nightingale blocks the third suplex and clears the announce desk, and then drags Mercedes Monet on top of it, and Mercedes Monet delivers a suplex to Willow Nightingale on top of the announce desk, then sends Willow Nightingale crashing off the announce desk. Then the ref begins the count of 10. The ref begins the count of 10, and both women are beating it. Both women are beating it, and Mercedes fires off a few elbows on Willow Nightingale, and she sinks into the statement maker on her, but Willow Nightingale rolls through and gets Mercedes Monet up on her shoulders, and Mercedes Monet escapes and sets up for the statement maker, but Willow Nightingale escapes and delivers the Dr. Bomb to Mercedes Monet for the win, and your new TBS Women's Champion, Willow Nightingale. Good stuff, I'm telling you. Oh man, I'm telling you, that was a great moment for Willow. Then after the match, Harley Cameron and Orange Cassidy and Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight joined Willow Nightingale in the ring to celebrate her win and hugged her. And Chris Statlander appears behind Willow Nightingale and gives a big hug to her and celebrates Willow Nightingale's win with her as the show went off. And that's what happened, guys. And I gave this show, I'm telling you, I gave this show right here, I'm telling you guys, I gave this show a 9 out of 10 because of that main event. If it wasn't for that main event, I would have given it a 7. But that main event gave it a 9, man. I'm telling you, that main event gave it a 9. It was so good. That match with Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Monet, go back and watch that match, guys, if you haven't watched it. But that moment for Willow Nightingale to become the second-time TBS Women's Champion, beautiful. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. I'm telling you. But anyways, guys, that's all I have to say. And I gave this show a 9 out of 10. And that's all I have to say. And I appreciate everybody that subscribes to the channel and gives me likes. I appreciate all the likes and the subscribes and the comments, as always, guys. And this is CJD. I'll say it again. This is CJD 2006. I'll repeat it again. This is CJD 2006. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells, as always, guys. And much love and peace out and take care.